Hey guys, Thrasher here, and today we're going to take an in-depth look at Sparking Piccolo. Why is he good? What team should you use him on? How should you use him? And how do his stats stack up against other Sparking units? So let's find out exactly how good he is. Let's jump into it. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is go through the general pillars that make Piccolo Piccolo. Then we'll kind of talk about how you should use Piccolo, what teams he'll be on, what teams he's best on. And then the last thing I want to do is sort of go through his stats and compare them to other Sparking units. And then we want to sort of look at how long will Piccolo stay in the meta. Will he fade off very fast? Will he last a long time? We'll get into all that. So the very first thing I want to look at are Piccolo's abilities. His abilities are really what make him outshine any other tank unit in the game. So if you go over to the ability area, the first thing you're going to notice about Piccolo is this right here. So there's a bunch of different things going on with his abilities. This is what makes Piccolo Piccolo. He does a lot of awesome things, but his ability to reduce damage by 50% when someone is comboing you and you switch to Piccolo when you're using a different unit, it is massive. The other thing that makes Piccolo an absolutely amazing unit is this main ability right here. When you use this main ability, he's going to heal any members on your team that are not Piccolo that are still alive for 25% of their health, or whatever's missing of their health if they're not missing 25%. So between him being the best damage absorber in the game and him being able to heal everyone, he is by far the best tank in the game. So we can go into the Z ability and look that he's, he increases green base strike defense. Generally, any team that you end up putting him on, he's going to be the only tank, so this is really just for him. It's not going to affect any other units. Chances are you probably don't have another green unit on your team that you're using. If you do, that can be helpful though. And then this is the other unique ability that Piccolo has. Most people in the meta right now are running Saiyan teams, either partial Saiyan or full Saiyan teams. So the ability to do 20% extra blast damage to Saiyans is huge. But with the caveat, you really shouldn't be using Piccolo to do damage except for one specific case. The awesome thing about Piccolo, outside of his tanking abilities and his healing abilities, is that he's also a nuker. So he has Special Beam Cannon, which is his special ability. It does pierce damage and it does major damage. This will one-shot most units in the game. If it's not a Sparking unit, they're almost guaranteed dead. And if it is a Sparking unit, they're going to either be dead or they're going to be very close to dead, depending on the circumstances of your level versus their level, how soul boosted they are, who specifically it is, and how boosted Piccolo is. So if you go down to his unlock key form of attack, that actually increases his strike and blast damage another 15%. So if you get that off before you Special Beam Cannon, there are not many units that can survive that. So those are the main things that make Piccolo Piccolo. He's got a massive health pool. He can reduce damage by 50% if you move him into a combo. He can heal everyone on the team, and he's a nuker. So all around, he's just an absolutely amazing unit. So I think the next thing we want to think about is how specifically should you use Piccolo, and on which teams is he going to thrive. So the first thing I want to address is what teams Piccolo should be on. Piccolo is the best tank in the game. If you have Piccolo, Piccolo should be on your team. I don't care who your other units are. I don't care what you're generally going for, unless you're going for some crazy gimmick team like a Chaozu Cybermen self-destruct team. Outside of that, and even in that case, he could be your third unit. But outside of that, if you've got a Saiyan team and you've got Piccolo, throw him on it. If you've got a Ginyu Force team and you've got Piccolo, you should probably use Piccolo as one of your three fighters. He's just phenomenal. He can support any team, and he doesn't need Z ability supports to work well. So generally, how you want to use Piccolo is pretty straightforward. He's meant to tank combos and heal your team, and nuke when you have the ability. So what you should be doing is leaving Piccolo not active in combat. He should be on your team, but he shouldn't be the one that's fighting. He should be ready to switch in at any time, so that way if someone starts a big combo on you, you can switch him in, he can tank all the damage, and then you can use his main ability to heal your other units back up, and then you immediately switch him back out, so that way his switch timer is up and ready to go by the time they have all their cards back to set up another big combo, which you can then sponge with Piccolo again. A couple things to note when sort of setting this up is there's a little bit of a soft counter to this whole combo damage reduction mechanic of Piccolo, in that if you drop Piccolo in as soon as someone starts a combo, one thing they can try to do, and reasonably good players will do this, is they will stop their combo right then and there, and they'll just save cards because they're not going to waste the arts cards and the key against Piccolo. So that's a little bit of a soft counter. And the other thing to mention meta-wise is Piccolo is a really good counter to a lot of the most common units that are in the meta right now. So outside of just general Saiyans, any blue unit, he's a great counter. The Spirit Bomb Goku that's not in the game yet, but that will be coming soon, he should be an extremely good counter to that based on the stats and the abilities that I've seen of Spirit Bomb Goku, and just the simple fact that he's a blue unit, plus his unique ability to do 20% bonus blast damage to Saiyans. So overall, he's just fantastic. Plus, one of the other units in the game that's specifically built to create extremely long combos is Pan. He's a direct counter to her. He's a direct counter to Extreme Goku and Extreme Raditz, who are two other characters that you'll see in PvP a lot. So overall, he's just... he is the god tier unit right now. He is, in my opinion, the best unit in the game. So let's go through his general stats and see how he relates to the other Sparking units stat-wise, and then let's kind of talk about how long is he going to stay around in the meta. Is he a more future-proof unit, or is he going to just fall by the wayside the second the new set of units come out, when that power creep starts to set in, as does with every gacha game, because the units have to keep getting better. Okay, so these are Piccolo's base stats right here, and you can see that he's got a ton of health. These numbers probably don't mean a lot unless you're looking in relation to the other Sparking units in the game. So rather than looking at these numbers themselves, I'm going to take the final values that were data mined on DBZ Space, so credit to DBZ Space for getting these actual values, but the final values for health, strike attack, blast attack, all these going down, and I'm going to tell you sort of where Piccolo ranks among all of the current Sparking units that are in the game. And I'll probably include Spirit Bomb Goku, because technically he's in the game, even though we can't get him yet. We're not sure when we'll get him. So first things first, health. Piccolo is an absolute monster. He has 2.1 million health when he's maxed out. The next closest unit in the game is 1.9 million, so he's 20% more health than the next unit in the game. He's just miles ahead of everyone else on the health pool side. Strike attack, he's third, so he's kind of middle of the road out of 6 units. Blast attack, he's fourth. The only 2 units that are weaker in blast attack are Pan, who just in general doesn't have great attacking stats, and Spirit Bomb Goku, who's another tank. So he doesn't do a lot of blast damage. In the strike defense realm, he's number 1. He's number 1 in blast defense. Just you know, he's an awesome tank, and that's all there is to it. He's last in critical, and he's last in key restore speed. So like I was saying before, his stats are 100% optimized for him to tank, heal you up a little bit, and then let someone else jump back in and do the damage. So the last thing we really need to look at is the future-proofness of Piccolo. He is going to stay around for a long time, period. Every other unit in the game, including Vegeta, who everyone else kind of considers the number 2 unit at the moment, and some people will disagree with that. Some people will say Pan, some people will say it's Pikkon, because Pikkon can take a lot of damage, and he can dish it back out on the strike side. But in reality, all of the other Sparking units in the game right now will fall off very quickly as power creep sets in, and Piccolo, because of the intangibles of what he does, will not fall off. 50% damage reduction is 50% damage reduction, period. It's not based on a hard-line number of he does this much damage, or he does this much key restore. It's a percentage. So he's going to be around for quite a while. There would have to be a pretty massive power creep for him to fall off. So I think he's going to be an excellent tank unit. If you have him, chances are you won't need another tank unit period for a long, long time. So like I was saying before, this puts Piccolo, in my opinion, in the God tier of units. He is the best unit in the game, bar none. So if you enjoyed this in-depth look at Piccolo and you want to see more, just let me know in the comments, like and subscribe. I will see you next time, guys.